Today I'm sharing test drive and review of the latest 2025 refreshed Volkswagen Golf R. The slightly slimmed down headlights, 19-inch alloy wheels, they are forged and they are 20% lighter than was before. You have the titanium exhaust from Akrapovic. I will show you what happened here in terms of updates for 2025. Your rear view camera is located here. Look at this wagon, it's an A-team, wow. A-team. Good afternoon everyone and welcome to my channel Roman Rides, and today I'm sharing test drive and review of the latest 2025 refreshed Volkswagen Golf R. This is 2025 with Eurospec package with titanium Akrapovic exhaust system, sunroof delete, and a few more options. It's very interesting. I have already driven this vehicle and it is extremely exciting. So let me share my details, my experience, and what this vehicle actually is and what this vehicle is not, and how it compares to other rivals in its class. Let's go. All right, a quick review of the 2025 Volkswagen Golf R. First of all, 2025 means that this vehicle has got some refresh and some updates, and let's start from the exterior updates of this vehicle. First of all, you see the slightly slimmed down headlights. So they are slightly slimmer than was before. You see the blue stripe comes across and along the hood, obviously, comes across the headlights assembly. So the slimmed down design of the headlights, but it still retains the adaptive headlights control, so the vehicle can enable the high beams, but at the same time it will not blind other oncoming vehicles and oncoming drivers. The vehicle, the 2025 model year, has received a more aggressive bumper, the front bumper, front fascia. Now the light bar is illuminated, as well as the front Volkswagen logo is illuminated as well. Everything is LED. No 360 camera, though. You have glossy black plastic around the front bumper. The front bumper has been redesigned in order to have a better coefficient of drag. So coefficient of drag is 0.33. It's better than it was before. And another updates regarding the aerodynamics here is that now it pushes body down to the lower to the ground because of the updated rear spoiler. It's like a two-story spoiler. So the first one is here, the second one is here. It's more aggressive, more pronounced, obviously, with the glossy black around the spoiler. And what it gives like a pressure to the rear axle. So basically adds like a few dozens of kilograms or pounds that push the body down in order to remove the front end and rear end lift while you're driving like with a high rate of speeds. Probably it applies mostly to Autobahn driving, for example, because here in the US, I don't think that you can actually drive that fast that you can actually experience and feel the downforce, which has been improved here. Aside from that, the new R logo is available here as well. Then the new lighter wheels. This is 19-inch alloy wheels. It is 235 by 35, 19-inch alloy wheels. They are forged and they are 20% lighter than was before. This specific car is actually Eurospec package, which means you have the titanium exhaust from Akrapovic, which is really nice, super loud, and you have all these pops and bangs during downshifting. Aside from that, you have the new wheel design. You have the upgraded brakes. The brake discs up front and in the back, they are larger than it was before. It is 14.1 inch in diameter for the front discs and 12.2 in diameter for the rear discs. Obviously, you have our logo on the rim itself. Aside from that, from the profile, nothing has been changed except for the R logo. Our logo now sits here on the door panel versus before it was on the fender. So you have parking sensors all around. I really like this menace looking front end of this Volkswagen Golf R. You have a heads-up display, obviously, black mirror caps, two-tone designs of the wheels. From the back part, nothing has been really changed. So the lights, they have not been changed from what I can see. The R logo remain the same from what I can see as well. You have a more aggressive pronounced diffuser. Obviously it's quad exhaust tips from Akrapovic. It's titanium, it's louder, and you will hear that this pops and bangs and burbles during the driving, especially because this vehicle has got a dual clutch automatic transmission, robotic transmission, I should say, not automatic. So now let's talk about the technical specs. So let's pop the hood open for a few seconds and I will show you what's powering this vehicle. So from technical perspective, let me open that. So from technical perspective, from the hardware perspective, nothing has been changed for 2025. The only change is the ECU. So they reflashed this to match the horsepower from the European Golf R, which is 328 brake horsepower or 335 European horsepower, which is PS. So 328 HP or 335 PS. And that's about it. Again, from the hardware, it is the same E888 Evo 4 engine, which has the Continental turbocharger, which spools earlier, and it continues to spool and work even faster than before and longer than before. So I will show you the explosive acceleration from this engine. So again, from hardware, nothing has been changed. It still had 350 bar of the fuel pressure. It's got an integrated manifold, exhaust manifold. It's got variable cam lifters and variable cam timing. Aside from that, it's cast iron block. It is aluminum heads paired with DSG, 7-speed automatic robotic DSG. Once again, the rear axle. This car has got basically the rear axle and the rear drivetrain from the Audi RS3 because it has two multiple plate clutches in the back, which allows this vehicle to drift and to send up to 100%. So basically everything that's coming from the engine, which is up to 50% from the engine coming to the rear axle, can be split or torque vectored to one of the wheels, depending on the driving condition, depending on the traction control settings, depending on the gas pedal position and all this stuff. So there are multiple factors which actually affect how this torque is being split between rear two wheels. And so it can send up to 100 to one of the wheels, allowing this vehicle to drift, allowing this vehicle to turn in the turns, obviously. So it is, sometimes vehicles with, not sometimes, but quite often vehicles with front engine placement, as well as it is mounted transversal. It's not mounted longitudinally. So because of transversal engine mount, sometimes it understeers, So rear-wheel drive vehicles, they oversteer, but front-wheel drive vehicles, especially with a heavy front, they understeer. And so to fight the understeering, they added these two clutches with multiple plates solution to the rear axle. So now it can drift, it can turn itself in really easily, and I have already driven this vehicle and I will show you what it means. And man, that system actually works really well in this configuration. So from a technical standpoint, I think that's about it. Let's go to the interior and see what has changed compared to other Golf R models and compared to 2024 and pre-refresh model. First of all, because this is a Euro spec, you don't have a sunroof. Sunroof has been deleted. This is the part of the Euro spec package. So lighter alloy wheels, Akrapovic titanium exhaust system. I will let you listen to that in just a second. No sunroof, and instead of the power operated and ventilated seats, now you have these suede finished with cloth inserts in the center with manual configuration, right? The only power configuration you have here, power operated configuration, is the seat recliner. That's about it. Everything else, the moving it forward and backward and up and down, it's all done manually to save weight. So the weight reduction is about 80 pounds compared to non-Euro spec package car. So let's get into this vehicle and I will show you what happened here in terms of updates for 2025. First of all, you have revised digital gauge cluster, which is 10.25 inches in diameter, diagonally in diameter. Then diagonally, it is 12.9. The new infotainment screen, it is larger than its predecessor pre-refresh model. It's also slightly tilted towards the driver, which is really nice. Still, the seats retain the heated function, but no ventilated function and no power operated function. It is 3-zone climate control. There is a separate third zone for the rear occupants here. And aside from that, I mean, it is snappy, it's pretty fast. I don't see any lags here, any delays. So Works seamlessly, works great, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, a few buttons. Obviously, a lot of people, they didn't really like that Volkswagen went all the way to capacitive and touch sensors instead of like physical buttons. But instead of the physical buttons, there are some clusters, like namely two clusters with like haptic touch buttons, which allow you to like semi-sensor, semi-touch, semi-capacitive touch buttons. So in order to change the light settings, you just use this mode button, then the fog lights, integrated fog lights and corner lights is operated by this cluster, and then you have max defroster for the windshield and max rear defroster for the, obviously for the rear window. And then you have additional button for the climate control, which is called Klima or Klimatronic in German probably. Then you have drive mode here, you have Eco, Comfort, Sport, Race. You can custom your mode, you can change the DCC settings here. So let me change that. Race. Custom. Okay, in custom mode, you can change the steering wheel. This is progressive steering wheel. It is electronically power assisted. You can change it from comfort to sport to whatever drivetrain, exterior engine sound, interior engine sound. Yes, it is audio pumped in sound inside the cabin and then outside. Adaptive cruise control, light assist, climate control. So steering, drivetrain, and DCC, obviously in comfort, sport, and race. And Volkswagen is the only manufacturer that allows you to go beyond the predetermined settings, like beyond the presets. So in most vehicles, like from the same Audi group, from the same Volkswagen group, for example, like Audi, you have like comfort, sport, race, and something else, maybe custom. But here you can go actually even more to the left, to the comfort, to make it softer, even more than the standard preset, and then even firmer if you are talking about race. So not just race here in the middle, but you can go all the way to the right, which is really great. I find it really useful, and I use it in my personal vehicle, which is also from Volkswagen Group. You have the new wireless charger, and it is ventilated, so your phone will not be overheating, hopefully. The new updated paddle shifters for a 7-speed automatic dual clutch transmission. You have a heads-up display with the colorful speed numbers, and obviously road sign recognitions, Harman Kardon audio system, power operated mirrors, and as well as power foldable mirrors. All window switches are fully automatic up and down, and this is the shifter for the 7-speed dual clutch. Everything here is glossy black. You don't have a cover lid to cover that, so you have to take care of this glossy black piano black plastic. You have AC vents, 3-zone climate control, heated seats front seats, heated rear seats as well. And then you have the door pockets. Actually, they are made of felt, as you can see, so that if you put something there, it doesn't provide too much sound, like clicky sound. Unfortunately, this part is not felt, but it is felt here, which is really nice. You don't see a lot in modern vehicles. And the seats themselves, they're super grippy. They're super aggressive side bolstering for the seat back itself and for the cushion itself as well. So I'm 6.2 sitting, and I'm sitting here very comfortable, and it's super grippy. And because it has these suede inserts, you don't slide to the side, and it's not slippery, unlike, like, for example, let's say a leather interior, so which is really nice. But leather, to battle that, it has ventilation, which this specific Euro spec car does not have. And black headliner, everything is LED here, and I'm 6.2, so I won't have much space here for the rears, but I can sit somehow, and my knees actually will be up against the front seat. But if you're talking about cargo capacity, because this is the hatchback, and so you can remove this cargo cover, and you can fold the seats back, and as you can see, it almost creates a flat floor, slightly going upwards, so you can put some boxes from Home Depot, from whatever warehouses, or like, you know, grocery stores. You have hooks for your groceries, bags and packages, some, you know, and under the floor you have the subwoofer for the Harman Kardon system, and first aid kit, and your other instruments in order to not change the tire, because it's a flat tire fix. So obviously it's not power operated, and your rear view camera is located here. And so it's a very neat and clean solution. Volkswagen branding. Thanks for the Volkswagen branding, namely to Vitaliy for allowing me to test this vehicle. If you're looking for new modern Volkswagen vehicles, Taos, Jettas, GLIs, regular Jettas, Atlases, Cross Sports, regular Atlases, and obviously Golf R, and new Volkswagen ID Bus, all available here with no markups and with really great offers in terms of APR and all that stuff. So in terms of the price, this vehicle comes priced at $47,000. But don't forget, this is all-wheel drive, this is automatic, like robotic, 7-speed dual clutch. Unlike Honda Civic Type R, Subaru WRX, which comes with CVT or manual, this only robotic 7-speed dual clutch DSG. It's always all-wheel drive. It's a drift mode all-wheel drive. The whole system is taken from the Audi RS3, which obviously costs more than this vehicle. It is super fun vehicle to drive. It's just a blast to drive, and it's obviously the tuning potential of this engine is just incredible. You can go with APR stage 2, Raceline stage 2. You can refresh the TCU, ECU, and produce like 450, 460 horsepower, depending on the tuner, depending on the shop you go with. So from the exterior, it looks really nice, really aggressive, and it's a beautiful car at the same time. No squeaks, no rattles. Let me test drive this car. I will show you what I mean, and then we'll sum it up. All right, driving the 2025 Golf R, Volkswagen Golf R. Just a few miles to see how it performs. So the sound is coming from the rear window because there is the license plate is put there. So don't worry about that. It's not something squeaking or rattling in the cabinet. It's just the license plate. So yeah, the sitting position, first of all, this is Eurospec package, obviously. So it has power seats, delete, and obviously everything that comes along with the power seats, which is ventilated seats and heated seats and power operated seats. So all of that, motors, electric motors, and all that has gone for the sake of saving weight. So having these seats instead of those, as well as the titanium exhaust system from Akrapovic, allowed to save around 80 pounds of weight, along with 20% lighter forged wheels, 19-inch forged wheels. Obviously we're in a race mode. So acceleration is just incredible, courtesy of 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission, obviously. They have revised the TCU programming for the DSG, obviously. Now it shifts even more fast, like even more like snappier and a little bit faster to me personally. But the nature of this engine, I'd like to say, this is the DSG, so sometimes you may experience like a delay from the standstill. So for example, sitting at the traffic light and without launch control, this car will not start super aggressively. It will do like 0 to 60 in around 5 seconds probably, but you will not get that low 4.1, 4.2 seconds 0 to 60 if you're using launch control. So without using launch control, sometimes you may feel like a slight delay. But as soon as the turbocharger starts to spool, this is the new Continental turbocharger that was introduced back in 2021, 2022, when this Evo 4 generation of E8 888 engine was introduced to the public. And so with that Continental turbocharge, you feel a higher RPM range response. So basically, it pushes really hard. It pushes really hard in the higher RPM range, which is, well, it's just incredible. So yes, there could be like a super tiny delay, but then as soon as the turbo spools, I mean, it's just, take a look. So what I'm trying to say is that the acceleration, it doesn't go down basically. It doesn't fade with the higher RPM range. So it still pushes really hard. And so I really like that. And this is the most significant difference between E8 888 Evo 3 and E8 888 Evo 4 engine. Because of the newer turbocharger and increased fuel pressure, this actually feels, more responsive in the higher RPM range, and the curve, the torque curve and the power band curve feels longer compared to the Golf R, for example, from 2021, 2022, you know? So definitely it is noticeable here. So it spools faster and it spools longer. The moment you accelerate, you feel that immediately, and it doesn't fade away. I mean, with the E888 Evo 3, you notice that like when you push the pedal to the metal, the acceleration will start to slightly fade out. Slightly fade out on the higher RPM. Yes, you could tune your car obviously with APR, racing line, whatever, but with this new Continental turbocharger, it really shows. It really shows. So the power band and torque band, it is longer compared to the Evo 3. And with the updated power output for the 2025, 328 brake horsepower instead of 315. But the torque is the same, to be honest. So the torque is the same. Yeah, the acceleration is just incredible. It's super responsive, and this is where the DSG shines actually, during like rolling race, not races, but during rolling acceleration, rolling speed, not from the standstill. From the standstill, you might want to use a launch control, right? To fully realize and fully reveal the potential of this engine, especially like to get this low 4 number, 0 to 60. But from like get going, from rolling speeds, like for example, you want to overtake someone on a highway, this is where it just explodes in terms of acceleration. And it really shows, and you really notice that. And with this turbocharger, it happens and continues longer compared to the previous Golf R, like 2021, 2023. Actually, not 2023, 2020, 2021. Oh my God, there's burbles and pops and bangs. And now I have just turned to the right, as you could see. And so, I mean, the car really turns itself in the corner easily, like with such an ease. So the new clutch pack system in the back, the new rear axle, which is basically taken from the Audi RS3, this works incredibly. And it's very incredibly, not just by itself, but it is predictable. So you know like what's gonna happen, right? And if you enable the drift mode, obviously 100% of those 50% coming to the rear axle can be directed to one of the rear wheels, which is just incredible. So having this system and this price range, and it's not an Audi, but it's just amazing. The acceleration is really explosive. Look at this wagon, it's an A-team, wow. A-team, wow. Wow, the guy looked like Mr. T from A-Team. From A-Team, I remember this TV series from like 80s. Is it Mr. T? Guys, remind me in the comments. There was Mr. T, there was Murdoch, and there was someone else, I don't remember exactly. And they had the exactly same GMC blacked out wagon. Or is it not GMC, is it Dodge wagon? I don't remember, guys. Please let me know in the comment section, but that was super cool. All right, the test drive is over, and oh my God, this car has so many to give you, has so many cool features, and the experience driving this car is just incredible. So after driving the Volkswagen Golf R 2025 refresh, first of all, I immediately noticed this, the rear axle, which has obviously electronically locking differentials, and for the differentials, they're using these 2 clutch packs, one for each side, basically, for the rear wheel. So they can send up to 100% of the torque coming from the engine, which is 50%, like equal split between front and rear axle, and up to 100% of that 50% coming from the rear axle. It can be splitted between the 2 rear axle. So it can, like the drift mode, it allows to spin, it allows to turn the vehicle in the corner really easily with ease. And I have shown that during the video, like when I turn to the right at the traffic light, by the end of the driving portion of the video, you saw that it eagerly tries to turn in, and it eagerly does that, like with ease. And and it doesn't understeer, which is really great, especially for this configuration of the engine, transversely mounted engine. So all in all, I think this is a great all-weather, all-year-round vehicle. You do not sacrifice, you don't have any compromises. You don't make any compromises because, for example, Civic Type R is front-wheel drive, Integra Type R. And also in terms of pricing, many of you may say, oh, Roman, this is really expensive for a Volkswagen, but you get a lot of features, a lot of technical upgrades, a lot of like technical performance, which is, I think, to my personal standpoint, this engine, it is, I don't know, it is superior to Honda Civic Type R. It is superior to Integra Type R and Subaru WRX. Yes, Civic Type R maybe it provides like more, I don't know, more connectedness feeling when you drive that car, especially with manual transmission. This is what people are clamoring for, like return the manuals, return the manuals. Unfortunately, Volkswagen went fully DSG for the 2025, but at the same time, all-wheel drive and this drift mode and the way the rear axle actually turns and helps turn this vehicle in the corners is just amazes, man. The turbocharger, it looks like it never spools down. It always spools up, never spools down. It's a huge step forward compared to the previous Evo 3 engine. So all in all, I think this vehicle is really worth its money. It's great looking vehicle. It is super performance oriented. It does 0 to 60 in low force. It's all year round vehicle, regardless of your climate zone, regardless of weather, whether it's snow, rain, whatever. So again, huge thanks to Volkswagen of Brandon and specifically to Vitaliy for allowing me to test drive this vehicle. If you're in the market for one of them, please contact Vitaliy. I will leave the contact details below in the description. So again, guys, thank you for watching. I'm really excited about this vehicle, and I would really recommend, in this class of vehicles, I would highly recommend buying specifically the Golf R. You will not regret, especially with aftermarket support and tuning options. So stay tuned, please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button. See you next time. Thank you.